What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to the channel. It is that time again for some Q&A, and I'm here with Phil and Andrew from Chromatic. What's up, y'all?
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right, so I got to just jump right into the question. Is the PTR confirmed for tomorrow?
Yes, 1 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time, we will have the PTR ready for everyone to go, and we'll get notes out a little bit before, I think, right around, depending on, still finalizing a couple of things, but yeah, we will be good to go for tomorrow.
All right, nice. So 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. It's not too shabby. It'll give me a little time for coffee in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Now, no, honestly, we are too. It's been a while since we've had a PTR, and we're excited to get a lot of these changes out to let everybody test them and get through them. So no, this is something we're really excited for. I know Phil especially has put in a ton of work on this. So
very nice, very nice.
Just a few hours.
I could imagine. Now, as far as the PTR goes, there's a lot of people that are pretty excited about it. Obviously, we're looking forward to seeing some of the changes based off of our feedback as players. However, there's some people that are just not overjoyed and are really looking for the upcoming content updates more than the actual balance updates. Can you guys give us any more insight on the upcoming content updates? Or, obviously you can't give us a when, but, that's what we all want to know is when.
Right.
always.
So kind of where things are, we're focused on getting the PTR out and doing iteration there. After that, we're currently still finalizing some last art content pieces and whatnot. So getting, the remainder of the maps finished and the hero work stuff done. We don't really have a timeline for that, unfortunately, yet. But we're gonna be focused on bringing over some of the DDGR content over in the meantime, trying to get some of the towers, more of the features over as we work towards getting that episode 2 content finished and then ready to send out and PTR.
Okay, very nice. Now, the PTR going tomorrow, of course, we'll have a million questions for you then once we see some of the changes, but definitely, I personally am looking forward to both as a player. I enjoy what's in the game now, but it's always fun to use more diversified builds and sets of defenses, so excited to see some of the changes there.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the hopes too with PTR is making some changes. We could shake things up for a little while. Maybe bring some. We're adding a couple new towers. Doing the Shroomy replacement and a couple other small things here and there. So it's just kind of a gradual progression until we make our way to that episode 2 greatness that everybody is excited for.
Very nice, very nice. Now, the next question is about DD2, and of course, there's from a player perspective, there's been a little bit of a shift of expectations with DD2 over the last couple of years, and it's gotten lots of updates, which to be honest, after the transition to Chromatic and what the focus on was then several years ago, I personally didn't expect to see the updates that we did get. So I'm grateful for all the updates that have hit DD2. However, this is, I guess, more of a request than a question. One of the things the game feels like it's missing just a little bit from a free-to-play live service perspective is events or reasons to log in. And, I know that there was previously there's been the double XP, double gold, double legendary drops. There's been all sorts of events happening. But is there any chance we could get those a little bit more frequently? Or is it just something that doesn't work in the current systems with DD2?
So I'm going to say yes to both of those, actually. So events are something that we continually try and look at and have some ideas on implementing. But to your second part of that question, there is a lot of behind the scenes and technical limitations that we do have with DD2. So it's kind of we do want to do these things, but we are limited on some of the scope of what we can do. Some of the ideas that we've even thought about are doing some sort of monthly events So there's a lot going on behind the scenes with that. Nothing concrete or nothing definite that we're willing to commit to yet. But we do understand kind of that mentality of DD2 kind of fitting in this like in between of game as a service sort of game. So we're trying to figure out ways to best go about that.
Okay. I mean, it's always nice to have, obviously some of those events affect people more than others, and some people are motivated to play more than others, but it's always nice to have like just the feeling that there's something going on.
Oh no, I
Sure.
I would 100% agree with you, and we've seen that throughout our Discord or on social media. We get that feedback, not infrequently. Of we want the like when we had the Christmas event, everybody was very excited for that. And anytime we do any sort of like. We did a tax holiday a while back, and then we did another one recently because of the trade fiasco. But we do have the ability to do some things like that. We just want to do it in a way that makes sense, and that we can be consistent with. So, like I said, I don't have anything hard or specific in this regard, but we have been looking, monthly or different things that we could look at doing. So,
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely also been a kind of something that DDA has also been people have requested over the months too, because we've done a few like login rewards and stuff like that in the past, but definitely trying to see if we can do more of those in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. And then, I think with DDA, a lot of that comes from the Dungeon Defenders 1 stuff. And still, I mean, even like today, there's stuff going on that's, it's all community driven. But in Dungeon Defenders 1 and like the CDT and the DDRNG Discord have just done an amazing job at keeping things happening in DD1.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely a nice model they have going over there.
Oh, yeah. Now, when it comes to going rogue, it seemed like April and May, it was just bam, 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 stuff happening with going rogue. And we haven't really heard anything in a little while. Obviously, if you had a date, you would publish a date. But so knowing that you can't really give a date, can we expect to see some more additions there soon?
So first off, I would like to say thank you, and I appreciate the fact that you're not just you, I'm more speaking generally, that you're realizing that when we have dates, we like to announce them. We like to get as excited for everybody else. So we don't always announce dates ahead of time until we have something concrete. So appreciate that that kind of shout out there. But as far as the situation with DDGR, we do have a lot going on behind the scenes. We're working on a ton of stuff there. Also looking at bringing out the next hero from DDA. We're going to end up changing quite a bit with her whenever we end up putting her into the game. So there's a lot going on there. We'll probably be one of our bigger departures from DDA, not like completely obviously, but there's a lot of different things with our kit that we're going to have to maneuver to make it DDGR centric. But as far as like dates and that kind of stuff, like you said, we just don't have anything concrete to announce because we're going through and trying to make the game fun and even more fun than it already is, and working on a lot of the different systems and taking a look at what works best. So.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited to see some more happening there for sure, no doubt. Now with Dungeon Defenders Awaken and the PTR and then the pre-episode 2 update, obviously the whole point of the pre-TR is just not to entertain us, but to actually get feedback and check for bugs and balance, etc. in the game. So, knowing that there will be changes that you all have to make after the PTR ends, can we as players expect to see the pre-episode 2 update shortly after the PTR ends?
Yeah, so kind of the timeline we'd be looking at is once the PTR is finished, it'll probably take, a little bit of time, maybe a week or two, just to make any final changes, iteration based off the PTR, and then look at, releasing that live. So it should be a fairly quick transition from PTR to live.
Yeah, obviously I don't want to jump the gun there too much. I'm pretty excited to play the PTR tomorrow. However, obviously we all want to get it in the live game too, particularly for players on consoles that don't have access to it. Now with with going rogue, obviously, like I said, once again, I'm not trying to pin you all down to anything in specific, but is it expected to have a long early access time? Is the game, can we expect like a launch 1.0 version of the game in 2022, or is that just not realistic remotely?
I'm not going to say not realistic. It's just we don't know. There's, like I said, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with DDGR. And one of the things that we really would like to do with a 1.0 release is release it simultaneously on consoles as well as PC. So, and as you know, I know you guys are well aware of that. The console launches tend to take a little more time with all the different certifications and all the different things we have to secure with each individual console. So that's one of the big hurdles, but we want to make sure the game is in a great place and is in a state that everybody's going to enjoy before we release it. So if that ends up being the end of this year or whenever, I don't have any specifics to relay on that. I know this whole question is kind of a non-answer in that regard, but it's just, I just want to be upfront with you, and whenever we have more information, more progress, the next update you get won't be like, oh, it's 1.0, let's go. It'll be, we are in early access on Steam, so you will see updates there as we continue to make progress.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to answer. I mean, obviously people have been asking, or I wouldn't have put it on the list.
Oh yeah, no, we 100%. We're excited for the questions. We're glad that you guys are engaging and are curious of what the progress is, because I know like DDGR has been pretty quiet lately. So yeah, any of these sort of questions that you guys have in regards to any of our games, we're excited to answer. That's why we do these.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I mean, you all know, you guys see it on Twitter, you see it in replies and on streams and everywhere else. Local split screen and cross saves, people really want them in Dungeon Defenders Awaken. Can you give us a status update, or, are these features that, we're going to be able to get down the road? Or could you just give us any sort of status update on split screen and cross saves at all?
So yeah, I think when it comes to those features, they're definitely not canceled by any means. We're still actively looking into both of those and have made progress on both fronts. When it comes to cross saves, it really just comes down to making sure that what we add works across all the platforms and adheres to each of their rules. So we're kind of going through that and making sure that we're adhering to all the platform rules and not like getting any kind of certification fails for that. But and then when it comes to split screen, it's definitely something that we're kind of polishing up and trying to figure out what the missing pieces are to getting it working as smoothly as possible.
Okay, yeah, these are definitely features that are hot on the topic list anytime we discuss with the community or the player base, anything about DDA.
Yeah,
For
no,
sure.
we definitely understand that. We see it, we see it as frequently as you do. So it's something we are well aware of, and I know that we are working on, as Phil said.
Okay, fantastic. I think that was the main question: is is it still something that's being looked into and addressed? I think that's what people want to know. If it's something that's not going to be realistic, people just want to know that. So, it's a hot topic.
That's completely fair. Like, if it was something that we had said, oh, we're definitely not doing this, we would tell you, and that is definitely not the case. We're actively working on that sort of thing, and whenever we have like updates or whatever that would be, then we'll make sure to communicate that as effectively as we can. And I understand that not hearing anything for a while leads people to think that it's not going to happen, and that's just not the case. So
okay, great. Now the last question is more of kind of I guess a technical question, and not really asking for you all to bust out the pitchfork and poke at any of your various platform partners. But with DDA being on all platforms now, which platform is the most challenging to get updates implemented onto?
So I think really now that we're, as you said, we're released on all platforms, a lot of the bulk work is now behind us. Like the port work is the largest chunk of time that it takes to get the game onto the platforms. With that behind us, releasing updates on platforms is not as hard anymore. There are definitely some technical challenges involved with making sure that it runs smoothly and like efficiently on all platforms, especially when we're talking about Switch being kind of the lower performance version that we currently offer. So we kind of make sure we are testing each update on all platforms to make sure they're not reacting weird or anything like that. And then it's just, a matter of making sure that we're getting through certification and not getting flagged because we did something wrong or whatnot. So that's kind of really where the most time is at this point, is just making sure we're adhering to platform rules and then testing to make sure we're not breaking any existing functionality.
Nice. It seems like, particularly on like Xbox and PlayStation, compared to many, many years ago, it seems like things may, obviously I'm an outsider looking in, but from my perspective, it seems like things might be a little bit easier than they used to be. Not necessarily
it's definitely
easier, but I
gotten
guess less time consuming than they used to be.
Yeah, the process has definitely gotten a lot more streamlined over the years. So we can definitely do, a little bit faster reaction time when it comes to patches and whatnot, and they don't have to like go through full certifications each time and take, weeks, up to like weeks to get a response back. So it's definitely got a lot better over the years.
And I think one of the ways that like consoles kind of get a bad rep is that like updates can happen relatively quickly on Steam, so there always a little bit of lag between Steam and any other console, and then so whenever there is that lag for people who play on multiple platforms or who are very tuned into Dungeon Defenders and Chromatic, that like they see Steam getting it, and then like the assumption is, and I think to a degree I understand it, is that like, oh, consoles are more difficult or whatever. It's like that they just have a longer certification process in most situations. So I think that's a little bit of the bad rep that some of the consoles get sometimes, but I definitely understand it.
I think just the perception has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Where it used to be, it was expected. You got this major content update for game A in June. You didn't even expect to see it on consoles until September, and that seemed to have been the norm back, many years ago. And that's changing quite a bit now. And, of course, with that comes the player's expectation changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Well, that is all I got for you guys today. Wanted to thank you all again. Appreciate you guys taking a little time out of your day and sitting down and going through some of these questions. Some of them easier than others, of course. But
that's what we expect.
As players, we want it all, and we want it now. You guys know how that is.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't know what time your video will come out, tomorrow, or I guess as I'm saying this would be today, because no matter when you post it, it will be today. But yeah, PTR, Friday, 1 p.m. EST. Check it out.
Definitely looking forward to that. I'll be going live with that one for sure. And
Nice.
this should be out later on today. Here, I'm going to work on it this afternoon, so I'll have it published probably by dinner time on the East Coast.
Sounds good.
But anyway, thanks again, everybody. I do appreciate the time, and I will see you all next time. Take it easy.